Welcome to a peak performance here at Mercy University Sound Studios. I'm Coach from 107.1 The Peak, and I'm here today with a very special guest, Mr. Warren Haynes. How's it going, Warren?
Good to see you.
It's good to see you. Now, I should tell you that you are tying a record today for the most peak performances. You are now tied with the band Gov't.
Really?
Who was in here earlier this year. And they surpassed you, and now we're tied again. So you guys can battle all you want and come back anytime you like, either one of you.
Maybe at the same time sometime.
That's right. That's right. Maybe we'll jam. So it's been a while since we talked. We'll catch up in a bit. Plenty to talk about. You've been a busy man lately, but let's start with a song.
Sounds good. On the 4th of July, I'm lighting up a Montauk sky, pale in the night like a burning ember. I ain't felt this way in so long, I can't remember. Ain't it good to be alive and just know that we survived? Stronger, yeah, we're stronger. Whoa, I'm gonna sing it to the clouds, sing it soft and sing it loud. I'm gonna make my feelings known. I'm gonna keep on holding on to this life as we know it. To this life as we know it. To this life as we know it. Change is coming day by day. The life we knew has gone away, but I ain't gonna let it get me down. Gonna embrace this new life that we've found. Drink it in like the smell of wine. Disregard the flaws in the design. Celebrate and take the time to stay a little longer. Stay a little longer. Whoa, I'm gonna sing it to the clouds, sing it soft and sing it loud. I'm gonna make my feelings known. I'm gonna keep on holding on to this life as we know it. To this life as we know it. To this life as we know it. Ain't it good to be alive and to know that we survived, came out on the other side a little stronger, yeah, we're stronger. Whoa, I'm gonna sing it to the clouds, sing it soft and sing it loud. I'm gonna make my feelings known. I'm gonna keep on holding on to this life as we know it. To this life as we know it. To this life as we know it. It's a full moon on the 4th of July, lighting up a Montauk sky, pale in the night like a burning ember. I ain't felt this way in so long, I can't remember.
Warren Haynes at a peak performance. The new album's called Million Voices Whisper, and some positive lyrics to kind of get people to feel good. There's not enough of that these days, Warren.
Yeah, I agree.
We could all use some positivity. And when did you write that one? Was that kind of your pandemic period writing, or
Coming out of it? And right as people were venturing out again, and it was okay to travel. I was on vacation with my wife's family in Montauk, and it was the 4th of July, and there was a full moon. I'm looking out over the ocean. There's fireworks, and everybody's celebrating. And I'm like, wow, it feels good to kind of be back.
Yeah, one of those moments you wish you could just freeze in time, right? It's just a beautiful moment. Yeah.
So I wrote it down, and then added music when I got back home a few days later.
Awesome. Well, like I said, the new album's called Million Voices Whisper. It's out right now, and you've been pretty busy lately. I know people that were at the Soulshine Relief show, still talking about it weeks later. It seems like a magical night, an all-star night. How did that all come about with Dave Matthews and Nathaniel Rateliff, and go down the list? Derek and Susan, Goose was there. It's just a great night of music. How did that start?
Well, it started. I'm from Asheville, North Carolina, that got devastated by the flooding from Hurricane Helene, and the Dave Matthews crew. A lot of those guys are from the Sarasota, Florida area that got hammered 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
Apart,
it was back-to-back hurricane, sure, yeah.
And so my family's all still in Asheville. My mom only got drinking water about a week ago.
Wow.
They were without power and water and cell service for a really long time. But it took almost 2 months to get drinking water again.
Wow.
So I normally do my Christmas jam down there to raise money for Habitat for Humanity and Beloved Asheville and some great charities. We knew when the damage happened that we weren't going to be able to do that. So I immediately reached out to the Dave Matthews camp, and they were thinking the same thing. So it was like, well, let's find who's available, find a date, and find a venue. We looked at a few possibilities in North Carolina. But then the date came up that Dave Matthews were doing Friday and Saturday, and the Sunday was open.
At Madison Square Garden, yeah.
And Derek and Susan were available. Nathaniel was available. Trey Anastasio was available. It just all kind of fell into place. So Joe Russo and Robert Randolph and Mavis Staples and Trombone Shorty, and of course Goose. It was just a fantastic night of music.
Yeah, it seems like it. I know people still talking about it to this day. I think Relics posted a great version of Whipping Post with you, Derek, and Joe, and today they just posted it, and still being talked about. One of those magical nights of music at Madison Square Garden. So
it really was, and I've said this before regarding my Christmas jam. There's something about the music that happens when people are playing for a cause that's even more special, and it translates to the actual music.
Yeah. It really was special, and every year it's become an annual tradition. Speaking of special nights of music, your run at the Beacon Theater with the Mule usually is a pretty special night. Is that just now a built-in thing? Like, it would be weird not to have New Year's Eve on stage at the Beacon for you, or what?
Kinda, yeah. it would be weird for me. And the Beacon is the place that I've played more than any other.
Right.
I really love playing there. I think at this point, I've played there around 300 times.
Right, with both with the Mule and with the Allman Brothers and everything, just included, or
yeah, and with Phil Lesh and friends,
right.
with my band, sitting in with other people.
Yeah.
Just through the years,
it's just your home, one of your home away from.
Yeah,
homes.
I love that place. And so I'm really excited to be back for the New Year's shows.
Yeah, those are always fun. And I think we'll have another song right now, and then I want to discuss with you a little discussed part of your game that I think gets underrated, and we're going to talk about that when we get back.
Okay, sounds good. Oh, somebody help me now. Won't you tell me, please, find real, real love. Don't have it coming to me. Search to find the good things this life can give to you. Was never satisfied with what it all came down to. Seems money is the main road to get you where you want to go. But if somewhere along the way your money runs low, nobody wants to know you. Whoa, somebody help me now. Won't you tell me please, where can I find real, real love? Don't I have it coming to me? Sailing ships and world trips to islands of paradise. Fine cars and shining stars that will love you for a price. It don't mean anything at the end of the day. People, won't you hear me now when I say, for some real love I trade it all away. Open up your arms and save me. I do the same for you. The world outside is so crazy. We can find us some shelter from the blues. Say we're coming to this world with nothing but our names. When it's time to go, we'll leave here just the same. The only things that matter are the ones that live and breathe, and we keep a little part of them when we leave. You tell me please, where can I find a real, real love? Don't I have it coming to me? Where can I find, baby, real love? Open up your arms and save me. Real love.
Warren Haynes had a peak performance. The new album, Million Voices Whisper, that song called Real, Real Love. Warren, one thing I want to discuss with you, I don't see, at least I haven't seen it discussed too much, is, a lot of people talk about your guitar work, of course. Even your songwriting is great, but I think you have just a beautiful singing voice. It sounds just great. Is that something you've worked on over the years? Have you taken vocal lessons or anything like that?
All the above, I guess. I started actually singing before I started playing guitar. I started singing around 8 or 9 years old, and then I picked up guitar around 11 or 12. So all my first guitar heroes, and actually all the musicians that I've always gravitated toward as influences, were people that sounded like they were singing through their instrument. I just always
Right.
loved that singing quality. And I sang growing up in church and in the school chorus and all that kind of stuff.
You know, it's amazing how many times it always starts in church, right?
Yeah, and I think the first sound that moved me was black gospel music on the radio when I was growing up in North Carolina. Sunday morning when I was like 6 or 7, hearing this sound, and like, whoa, what is that? It made the hair on my arm stand up. And then a few years later, James Brown had the same effect on me.
Right, yeah.
And then I was listening to Wilson Pickett, and Otis Redding, and Sam and Dave, and the Four Tops, and the Temptations, and all this great soul music before I ever discovered Jimi Hendrix and Cream and all that stuff.
Yeah, so you really kind of started out wanting to be a singer.
Yeah.
And then that darn guitar, you know, just got in the way of all that.
Once I heard Hendrix and
Well, that's pretty cool.
it's like, oh.
Yeah.
But, somewhere in between, there was this transition where I was listening to B.B. King.
Yeah.
But mostly it was his voice. I was in love with his voice. But then I realized, oh, well, he's also the guitar player. And
Right.
when I would hear Ray Charles playing piano and singing, it's like, oh, he's doing both of those things. And so that kind of lit a light bulb above my head too. You could do both.
Yeah, you could do both with your voice, the guitar work, and the songwriting skills. You kind of can paint the whole picture for somebody, right? When you're telling a story like you do in your songs, it's really great.
Well, and I've been writing songs since I was 12. I was writing.
Why so late?
Well, I was writing poetry as a kid.
Yeah,
And as soon as I picked up guitar, I stopped writing poetry and started writing song lyrics.
Right.
Really bad song lyrics in the beginning.
I was going to say, do you remember the first song you wrote? Can you go back that far?
The first song that I wrote, yeah. But I don't know if I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
That's funny.
It was terrible.
But you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, as Ed Wood said, the next one will be better.
That's great. So, so did your parents support all this kind of artistic interest, or were some parents are like, hey, put that darn guitar down and start reading some books. Let's go study school or what?
Well,
Were they supportive?
I did good in school, so that allowed me to kind of pursue my passion. My dad was a great singer in his own right, but he never sang professionally.
Right.
But he had a beautiful voice. And the only people he would sing around was us, but he was fantastic. And so I think the fact that he never pursued it kind of made him want to encourage me.
Yeah.
He could tell how passionate I was about it, And he would, we were very working class, and he worked 2 jobs to raise 3 boys, and he would like trade my cheap guitar for a little better guitar, and
Yeah.
then he'd trade that one for a little better one,
Right.
and the same with an amp. He always wanted to keep upgrading me a little bit, but
get
we
you,
we
yeah.
could barely afford it.
Oh, well, that's great. So, so he was working to kind of for you to pursue your talent, and well, that's just great. Do you think you have a good singing voice when you hear it?
I sometimes,
yeah.
I think I'm my own worst critic.
Yeah.
When I listen to myself, sometimes it depends on the performance or the way my voice sounds at any given moment, But I think most musicians and artists are their own worst critics,
That's true. That's true. In a way, that kind of makes you get better and keep pursuing it, right?
I think if you ever stop wanting to improve, then you stop improving. So.
Absolutely. Well, how about another song?
Sure.
We had a good run. I ain't gonna be complaining about what's killing us now. We're sailing to the sun. No looking back, no regrets. wind blowing through our hair, like we blew through our money like no tomorrow. Shame was for the weak, don't cry for those who fell along the way. From here on out, I might be wondering if I should have done things differently. When it counts, got to dive into that dream, grab and rain. If you can find it first, there ain't no curse, it's just reality. We had a good run, burning up the highway like some band of thieves. Life had just begun, and we were living it to the fullest, never slowing down, churning up some dust. So we made our way down every lonesome stretching road, never knowing where we're bound. Always found our way back to whatever light we seek. From here on out, I might be wondering if I should have done things differently. When it counts, you got to dive into that dream and grab that rain. Or you might have to find it first. Never mind the curse, it's just reality. Can we make it across the bridge alive? Is there gold waiting on the other side? Can we just dig in our heels and ride? We had a good run. Trying to say it don't mean as much now as it did then, but it can't be undone. It was magic once, that's all that matters. We lit up the world, sometimes we even changed it, some say for the good, and it can't be changed back. From here be wondering if I should have done things differently. But when it counts, got to dive into that dream and grab that rain. If you can find it first, never mind the curse, it's just reality. From here on out, I might be wondering if I should have done things differently. To that dream and grab that rain. Or you might have to find it first. You know there ain't no curse, it's just reality.
Warren Haynes at a peak performance. 2 shows coming up at the Beacon Theater to close out the year on December 30th and 31st. And of course, the new album, solo album called Million Voices Whisper. It's been a while since you did a solo album. You did a few Gov't Mule albums. What made you want to do a solo album?
Well, I think I've done 3 Mule records since my last solo record, which was 9 years ago or
Right.
so. Usually, since Gov't Mule was kind of my laboratory to mostly do anything that I want to do, if I write a bunch of songs that don't seem like Mule songs, then that's usually a good sign that it's time to make a solo record. In this case, I started that process during the whole COVID lockdown. Mm-hmm. I probably wrote 4 or 5 during that time period that I thought, no, these aren't Mule songs, but I really would love to record them.
What better time to do a solo album than when you're all alone?
Yeah.
By yourself, right?
And that was, for a lot of songwriters, I think, the saving grace was having this forced time period to write as much as your heart desires. I wrote more during that time period than I have in decades. And it carried through once we got back on the road, so I'd continued writing songs that still didn't seem like mule songs. So once I had enough that there was some sort of theme or concept, then I thought, yeah, let's make a solo record.
And how do you choose between a solo Warren song and a mule song? Is there a little voice in there that tells you, or how does it go?
Yeah, a lot of times it's the lyric. Government mule lyrics come from a kind of a different direction. But I feel like there's room for 2 or 3 of those kind of songs on a mule record as well, which we have a history of doing. Almost every government mule record has at least a couple of songs that could have gone the other way.
Right.
But usually I can tell right off the bat, which way it's going to go.
Interesting. And as a songwriter, when you're writing a song, do you decide, okay, today I'm going to sit down for an hour and try to write a song, or is it just lyrics popping into your head randomly that you're trying to run and write a note, or how does it work for you?
It's usually more of the latter.
Yeah.
I don't make myself write all the time. I usually wait until I'm inspired, but the inspiration could be a lyrical idea, it could be a melody, it could be a little guitar riff, a chord change. As Greg Allman used to say, there's as many ways to write a song as there are songs, meaning that they all come from somewhere different,
Yeah.
But I've learned to, through the years, make sure that I document it somehow, because sometimes I get these ideas at 3 a.m. when I'm laying in bed, and I'm like, at least now you can sing it into your phone,
Right. These technologies helping you out there. You don't have to run and find a pad or something.
And
keep a pad by your bed.
If it's a lyrical idea, then I want to get that down. But if there's a melody, I don't want to lose it, because I always think, yeah, I'll remember that, and you don't.
Right. It is kind of weird. It kind of passes through you.
Yeah.
Huh?
And you at the moment, it seems like, oh, I'm never going to forget this.
Right.
And then 24 hours later, it's like, how did that go? I don't know.
That really is interesting how that works. It's almost divine, that you just all of a sudden get inspired and you got to get it out. Right?
You never know where it's going to come from and when. Like when I wrote Soulshine in 1987, I was driving in my car, no guitar, no pad.
Right.
And this is way before cell phones. And so I just kept singing over and over until I got home, and I could pick up a guitar and go, oh, that's B flat, that's cool, and wrote down the lyrics. But you just never know.
Well, thank God you kept singing it to yourself, and you didn't forget that one.
It took a while.
Do we have time for one more?
I can do another one. Let me retune one more time.
Okay.
Like another rainy day, same old gray again. We don't have to lift the shades to see the storm rolling in. For so long I've been watching you slipping away. But hear me when I say, I know it's raining in your heart, and the world is getting darker. Your eyes have turned a deeper shade of blue. Whoa, but I'm gonna hold you till the sun comes shining through. wasn't that long ago, will always make you smile. Oh, my life is full of hard roads. We've seen so many miles. Yes, we have. So I don't care how long it takes, we're gonna lay. I know the storm is gonna break. I know it's raining in your heart, and the world is getting darker. Your eyes have turned a deeper shade of blue. Oh, but I'm gonna hold you till the sun comes shining through. Yeah, let me dry your eyes. Come and lay down by my side. We might be here for a while. I know it's raining in your heart, and the world is getting darker. Your eyes have turned a deeper shade of blue. Whoa, well, I'm gonna hold you till the sun comes shining through. Yeah, I'm gonna hold you till the sun comes shining through. Oh, the sun comes shining through. Till the sun comes shining through. Whoa, the sun comes shining through. Till the sun comes shining through.
Mr. Warren Haynes, thank you for joining us today here at A Peak Performance. Just awesome music. The new album is called Million Voices Whisper. It's out right now. Go get it. New solo album from Warren. Of course, 2 shows coming up at the Beacon to close out the year, as has become kind of a tradition, I think, for a lot of people to go see you there. And yeah, thanks for coming in. Thank you to Sam and the staff here at Mercy University for this great studio and making everybody feel so comfortable and making it sound really great. And thank you for listening at home. Warren Haynes here at 107.1 The Peak.